Have you ever felt like your mind is a chaotic storm, tossing you around with every bad news, harsh word, or unexpected crisis? In a world that constantly demands our attention, losing control of our emotions is easy. But what if you could remain completely calm, unshakable, and deeply focused, no matter what happens around you? This isn't a superpower. It is the ancient art of Stoicism. Thousands of years ago, Roman emperors, warriors, and philosophers used these exact principles to master their minds. Today, we are diving into 10 profound Stoic lessons that will completely reshape how you view yourself and the world. Let's begin with the absolute foundation of Stoic philosophy, the dichotomy of control. Epictetus, a philosopher who was born a slave but freed his mind, famously stated that some things are up to us and some things are not up to us. This single realization is the ultimate cheat code for mental peace. Think about it. You cannot control the weather, the economy, traffic, or how other people treat you. Yet, we waste massive amounts of mental energy worrying about them. What can you control? Your thoughts, your actions, your desires, and your responses. When you shift your entire focus from the external world to your internal responses, everything changes. Imagine someone insults you at work. If you believe your peace depends on their kindness, you become their prisoner. But if you remember that their words are outside your control and only your reaction belongs to you, their power over you instantly vanishes. Mind control isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about recognizing where your true power lies. It is about drawing a clear line between the world's chaos and your inner fortress. By mastering this first rule, you stop being a victim of circumstance and start becoming the master of your soul. Let's look at how we can practically apply this mindset to destroy anxiety, fear, and hesitation. Our first lesson is amor fati, a Latin phrase that translates to the love of fate. Most people react to bad luck by complaining or wishing things were different. Stoics do the exact opposite. They don't just tolerate bad situations, they choose to love them. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor, wrote that a blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. When life throws an unexpected obstacle in your path, do not wish it away. View it as fuel. If you lose your job, view it as an opportunity to reinvent your career. If a relationship ends, view it as a chance to practice self-reliance. When you love your fate, nothing can break you because everything becomes useful. The second lesson is memento mori. Remember that you must die. This might sound dark, but for the Stoics, it was the ultimate tool for clarity and gratitude. We often ruin our days by stressing over minor arguments, social media comments, or petty jealousies. Why? Because we secretly live as if we will live forever. Reminding yourself that your time on this earth is brief instantly strips away the trivial nonsense. It forces you to ask, is this worth wasting my limited life force on? When you keep death in mind, you stop delaying your dreams and start treating every single day as an unearned gift. Our third lesson is the practice of voluntary discomfort. Seneca, a wealthy advisor to the emperor, advised setting aside a few days every month to eat the cheapest food, wear rough clothes, and step away from comfort. Why would someone do this voluntarily? To eliminate fear. We stay in toxic situations or avoid taking big risks because we are terrified of losing our comforts. By stepping out of your comfort zone on purpose, whether through cold showers, fasting, or sleeping on the floor, you prove to your mind that you can survive adversity. You realize that the things you feared losing are not required for your happiness. This builds an unbreakable shield of psychological freedom. Moving to our fourth lesson, the obstacle is the way. This principle, popularized by Marcus Aurelius, teaches us that what stands in the way becomes the way. When we encounter a barrier, our natural instinct is to stop, turn around, or give up. But a Stoic looks at the barrier and asks, how can I use this to grow? If an injury keeps you from training your body, use that time to train your mind by reading. If someone betrays you, use it as a masterclass in learning how to forgive. The obstacle is not a dead end. It is a test designed to make you sharper, wiser, and more resilient. Our fifth lesson is mastering the pause. Between a stimulus and your response, there is a tiny window of time. In that window lies your freedom. Most people react instantly when triggered. If someone cuts them off in traffic, they immediately yell. If they get a frustrating email, they type a furious reply. Stoics practice stretching that pause. When you feel a surge of anger, fear, or panic, do absolutely nothing for 10 seconds. Take a deep breath. By pausing, you take control away from your primitive, emotional brain and hand it back to your rational mind. You transition from a reactive animal to a strategic thinker. The sixth lesson is cognitive distance, or what modern psychology calls reframing. Epictetus noted that people are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of things. Nothing is inherently good or bad until your mind labels it so. A rainy day is bad for a vacationer, but wonderful for a farmer. The event itself is completely neutral. Your judgment creates the misery. When something goes wrong, catch your mind in the act of catastrophizing. Stop saying, "This is the worst thing ever," and instead say, "This is a challenging situation, but I am entirely capable of handling it." By changing the narrative inside your head, you change your entire reality. Our seventh lesson centers on the power of silence. We live in a loud culture where everyone feels pressured to share their opinions, defend their egos, and speak constantly. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, wisely remarked that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. When you speak less, you observe more. You conserve your mental energy. You protect yourself from saying things you will later regret. Silence is a sign of immense inner security. You don't need to win every argument or correct every person who is wrong. Let your results speak for you and keep your mind quiet. The eighth lesson is the habit of morning and evening reflection. Marcus Aurelius didn't write his famous book Meditations for an audience. It was his private journal. Every morning, remind yourself of the challenges ahead. Tell yourself, "Today I will meet meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, and dishonest people." This isn't pessimism, it is mental preparation. By anticipating difficult people, you won't be shocked when you encounter them. In the evening, review your day with compassion but honesty. Ask yourself, what did I do well? Where did I lose my temper? How can I do better tomorrow? This continuous feedback loop keeps your mind sharp. Our ninth lesson is the view from above. Whenever you feel overwhelmed by your personal problems, mentally zoom out. Imagine looking at yourself from the ceiling, then from the sky, then from orbit, looking down at the entire planet. See the billions of people, the vast oceans, and the centuries of history that came before you. This perspective reminds you of how beautifully small you are. Your current anxiety, your financial stress, or your social awkwardness are just tiny drops in a vast, infinite ocean. This doesn't make your life meaningless. It frees you from the suffocating weight of self-importance and brings profound peace. We have reached our 10th and final lesson, the mastery of self-discipline. To the Stoics, freedom is not the ability to do whatever you want. Freedom is the absolute mastery over your own impulses. If you cannot control your hunger, your laziness, your screen time, or your temper, you are not a free person. You are a slave to your temporary desires. True power is doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. It is waking up early to work on your goals when you are exhausted. It is saying no to short-term pleasure for long-term peace. Self-discipline is the ultimate form of self-love. To wrap everything up, let's remember that Stoicism is not an academic philosophy meant to be debated in classrooms. It is a practical toolkit meant to be lived in the streets, in the office, and in your daily life. You don't become a master of your mind by simply reading these words. You become a master by practicing them when life gets incredibly difficult. Next time you feel anxiety creeping in, anchor yourself in the present moment and remember the dichotomy of control. When an obstacle blocks your path, smile and treat it as a masterclass in growth. When you feel tempted to scream or complain, step back, take a deep breath, and choose a dignified silence. Your mind is your most valuable asset. It can either be a chaotic prison that makes you miserable or an unassailable fortress that keeps you strong, focused, and completely at peace. The choice has never belonged to the world, your boss, or your circumstances. The choice belongs entirely to you. Control your mind, or the world will gladly control it for you. Thank you for listening. Stay strong and keep building your inner fortress.